So on the left, this is the Explore Scope process goal with the 13 choices that are part of this quick start. The process goal on the right, the one that's got the little green circles around it, well, there's 56 options in the current version of DA, the 5.5 version. So I'm not saying you can't use any of the other ones, but the ones on the left are a very good starting point. And these are the things that most teams, if they do these practices, are going to get benefit from. So if you do have some experience with DA, there's going to be a question, what about all the bolded options? Well, let me go back for a second. So on the right, the out-of-the-box, non-tailored version of this process goal, some of those options are bolded, like outcome and really round robin and epic and user story and so forth. Well, those are part of the guidance in DA for relatively small teams with relatively straightforward context, that those are really good choices to make. Great. The problem is that there's over 1,500 options that are in this toolkit at the team level, and there's over 400 of those bolds. That's a lot. I tell you, 400 is almost always, at least in my experience, going to be more than any team's going to need to do, right? Again, those are really, it's a really good piece of information, but, and you can see on the left, they're all bolded just because these are all the recommended starting points for this quick start that we have. Now, on the left, right, the smaller process goal and the one that I'm gonna show sort of all the other ones on a single slide that are a little bit easier to read. Or single frame, sorry, I'm using Miro. There's a lot of ways to do this. So we've got PowerPoint, we've got Snagit, and we kind of sort of cobble these together, right? We're able to sort of take the things that we have as a good starting point based on a particular scenario, and we create a process goal out of it. You can do it in a spreadsheet. You can just take, the implementation is not really what's important. What's important is that we're not cognitively overloading people, right? We're not overwhelming them with so many choices and so much context. The other thing is that why these 67, right? For this particular scenario, right? The setup that I gave you. Well, for one, it's, we feel that they're high impact for any team. Again, something like using user stories or having acceptance criteria, creating a definition of done, having a definition of ready, right? Team norms, right? Team working agreements, all things that most teams are going to get benefit from. And a lot of them have a reciprocal relationship, right? So, if you're going to size your stories, it's really great to have examples of what those sizes are. You can use those samples also as showing this is the type of content that we need at this particular moment in time, right, in the life of a user story, so that we can create a definition of ready for us, right? So there's relationships with the ones that are most of the ones in the 67. And it's a pragmatic starting point. And I say that because, again, direct observation of hundreds of teams using DA over the last decade. And that's just not myself. We've got coaches that have, again, been enabling organizations and teams to use DA since it was first released. We've got a really good group of instructors and coaches. And so we've drawn upon all of that. But it's not just our experience and things we've observed. We're also fortunate because we've got lots of other consultancies that we have great relationships with, that we get an opportunity to talk to them and share information, right? What are the things that you've seen work in these types of situations? What are the things you've seen that haven't? Where maybe has somebody been overwhelmed? So we've distilled all of that into all of the varying quick starts that we have. The other thing is it only this D67? I wish I could have made that no to just completely engulf the entire screen, right? You may get value from less than 67, right? We're just trying to say 67 still might be too many. May not even be in a place to adopt all 67. And so one of the principles in DA is to be pragmatic. So we need to balance what can we actually adopt and be successful with? Measure that it's working for us, or maybe we need to look to a different option. we might get value from more than these 67. So we'll start here with teams. We'll kind of get a little bit of familiarity with them. We'll see if there's anything maybe we don't need, we're not going to get value from. Again, maybe it's going to overload us a little bit from an adoption perspective. And then from here, we'll go back to the full version of DA to say, have we missed anything? Right? Is there something else that maybe we're already doing or something similar to what we're doing? Or, hey, this is a challenge that we've got, whether it's with this team or the culture of the organization or the interaction, communication with our stakeholders, people that, we rely on from a shared services perspective. Then we can, again, kind of be moving from the single speed bike with just the rear brake to starting to add some things back in. The other thing that we can do is continue to evolve and grow, right? So again, we've got a collection of practices and strategies and techniques, right? Those 1,500, that is a great place to look and also see the detriments, the trade-offs in selecting those, or situations they might not work so well, or if you're doing these practices, this might not be one that's going to work very well for you.